Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday Recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And if you watched EVE Talk, you already know that it's been a rather slow week for me in EVE Online just because of the crazy temperatures that we had here in Belgium. Last week up to 40 degrees Celsius. It was just completely undoable to put any real effort into anything. And so I just played a little bit of EVE Online. When the week started, it was actually still doable, like getting into the 30s. And so there I still managed a little bit of exploration. Did a couple of rounds there. Kept up with my PI. I actually did that every single day. Same thing with my blueprint copies, and I did one trip to Jita in order to sell some stuff. But other than that, all I really did in EVE Online was take the daily challenge that you could do, and it was mostly just kill one rat, get 10,000 skill points. I'm not sure, I think it was like randomized. I wonder if everyone has the same missions at the same day. But yeah, it was mostly just go out there, find an anomaly, get into that refuge, do that one. I basically did complete the anomaly at that point, but get the skill points, get back, and then try to stay cool in these extreme temperatures. There was really not much more that I could manage in the last week, unfortunately. Now, something pretty interesting did drop, and just before EVE Talk I noticed the Reddit post, and that is that CCP Hilmar, CCP Falcon, and I think CCP Dopamine, I'm not sure, another CCP employee went on to the Talking in Station podcast. I would highly recommend it. 2 hours long, but yeah, they talk about their vision for EVE, the problems that they're encountering with EVE, the chaos era that CCP Hilmar has basically officially announced for EVE Online in the upcoming weeks and months, and it is chock full of very interesting information. And yeah, it does look like CCP is now willing to take some rather drastic and risky steps in order to shake things up in EVE Online. Super exciting, of course, always something that is quite risky as well, but we will have to wait and see. And yeah, the drip feeding all information before it actually comes to the game, to the Tranquility server, is something that they are now deliberately not doing. So the idea here was that they felt like CCP was overthinking every single change, trying to absolutely make sure that it did exactly what they intended to do for the game. And now basically they want to act a bit more quickly, act a bit more, take some more risks, rock the boat, see who stays on and who falls off, and then just keep going to try and make EVE Online their vision of a true sandbox. So super interesting stuff, definitely worth a listen. But last week was not a great week for me when it comes to playing EVE Online. Now temperatures should drop down over the weekend, so right now it is already a lot more doable. Let's hope that it doesn't get worse next week again, and then I should be able to get some more EVE Online time in. Now, next to EVE Online, I also played a little bit of Dota Underlords. Now, also in the very first part of the week where temperatures were still somewhat doable. That's where I managed a couple more games there, and I must say that game is in full development and things are changing constantly. And it was very interesting to see different heroes all of a sudden have different costs when it comes to Dota Underlords, and to see how the mechanics are changing a little bit, the synergies from time to time as well. Now, early game druids, that's still super powerful. I don't know if they plan to keep that, but having that free star when you get 2 druids does feel like it is really, really powerful. And well, from a post I also now start to understand how the drafting of the heroes happens. So basically all players on the board have a shared pool, and so that means that if someone is going for a tier 3 set or for as many druids as possible, well, other players should try to see that and try to focus on a counter for it, because they'll have a much higher chance of seeing those types of heroes pop up, because that one is just snagging every single druid that he can. Something that I was not aware of. I thought it was random for everyone, but no, there's actually a shared pool, so there's definitely a strategy to do in there as well. And when it comes to the changes, it was actually pretty funny. Something that I'm not sure if it is still working right now. This might be nerfed. about, as I've said, I haven't played in almost a week basically, is that the Arc Warden is now super powerful. And actually by accident in my first or second game after these changes came in, I did have a combination of an Arc Warden with a Crystal Maiden, which basically makes the Arc Warden spam his ability, and I ended up with like 4 of him on the board, and it actually helped me through quite a few rounds where I normally would have lost, but like 3 Arc Wardens just kept wailing on like higher tier enemies, and I kept coming out on top. So that was really interesting to see that you know, there's still definitely imbalances in this development process as well, but it is pretty fun to keep an eye on it. On the other hand, I do think that it is very difficult to develop a game like this at the moment, because all these changes just get super analyzed very quickly, and the new optimal meta gets discovered almost right away. So I don't see that much of a point to play a lot of Dota Underlords, although it is of course a very easy game to just get in, play a game, maybe even record a game, get back out, go back to doing something else. So it is a very low barrier to entry to play some Dota Underlords, and so from time to time I think I might still jump in unless something new and exciting comes out. But yeah, last week, difficult week, so not a lot of gaming. That's all I managed to do. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.